Have you hugged your firewall today? It may not be getting the respect it deserves. I mean, who better represents the unsung hero of networking? Well, it's got to be the lonely firewall. I mean, working 24/7 by 365, and for what? It gets grief from users for blocking too much. It gets slammed by IT admins for not blocking enough. Even applications beat it up for being too slow. But those days are over. There's a new sheriff in town, and they call it the 5585X. The Cisco ASA 5585X is one of our high-performance firewalls. It's a family of peacekeepers. The other two are the ASA Services Module for the 6500 and the ASA 1000V firewall for the cloud. You see, we listen to your complaints. Sound familiar? With over 15 years of experience and millions of firewalls deployed, we are constantly re-engineering these things, not just to keep up, but to lead today's security requirements. In fact, there's no better example than what we call multi-scale performance, the highest performance density per rack unit in the industry. Now, before we start throwing numbers around, certainly a favorite pastime for firewall vendors if there ever was one, let's level the playing field. What do we see out there for firewall pomposity? Speeds and feeds, 30 gigabits of throughput. Sure, bits per second metrics are important to data sheet writers and rookies. In the data center, we also need to look at things like transactions per second and latency, stuff that affects the user experience. But watch this. The simple act of opening our Facebook page, don't forget to friend us, results in 22 connections open to 8 different hosts, downloading over 54 HTTP objects in less than 4 seconds. Do the math. If your firewall supports 8,000 sessions, we just maxed out your firewall capacity with only 2,000 Facebook users. Don't blame Facebook, that's just how the web works. But think about your business apps. Think they might be opening a few threads? You better believe it. Bits per second, BPS, just doesn't have the clout that it once had. But this is what multi-scale is all about. Real performance, a number that matters at a realistic cost, in a small form factor. Still want the numbers? Okay. But instead of the old marketing math, giving you the performance of our biggest box rolling down a steep hill with the wind at its back, let's look at the product range. Performance all comes down to which security services processor you use. For example, you get the 5585X chassis, then you just add performance. Slide in an SSP10, you'll get 2 gig of multi-protocol throughput, 1 million concurrent connections, and 1 gig of VPN throughput. Still need more performance? Okay. We'll slide in an SSP60 and you'll get 20 gig of multi-protocol throughput, 10 million concurrent connections, and 5 gig of VPN throughput. Good eye. That's your intrusion prevention system, or your SSP. Now, unlike most security providers that force you to choose between a high-quality firewall or an effective IPS, we combine the world's most powerful firewall with the most intelligent IPS right there. You can drop any of our high-end firewalls into your network, and it's going to enhance your design by peering with your existing equipment. For example, tie in the 5585X with your ISE, your Identity Services Engine, and now you're enforcing individual and group policies across your network. No, you don't have to have a PhD to manage our firewalls. Features like packet trace and tracker, as well as your normal day-to-day stuff, well, those can be easily managed with Cisco Security Manager, or from the CLI for all you command line commandos out there. With all these great features and scalability, it's easy to see why the 5585X, the ASA Services Module, and the ASA 1000V firewall are the mission-critical choice for mission-critical data centers that require exceptional flexibility and security. It's superior performance spanning multiple platforms, technologies, and deployment scenarios without any of those games or magic numbers. Check out this link for more.